dialed your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West, here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Now, as usual, I'll give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it first, followed by a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, or something that's going on in the community, or maybe some pictures. And then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week, folks. So let's waste no time. It's time to get to it. Let's get to it. Story number 1. The Girard Multi-Generational Center takes time to reflect. 22 years ago this spring, the Girard Multi-Generational Center opened. The city tax-funded facility has been used in so many ways to serve its purpose for the Girard community. Now, for some time now, communities have seen the pros and cons of having a wellness center, but the fact of longevity is what got the story in. 22 years for the Girard Multi-Generational Center. Big head. Story number 2. Canfield High has NASA headlines. Making headlines with NASA. Canfield High. Local Canfield High students on a team called Chem Crew were one of 60 teams selected for one of 2 NASA high-altitude balloon launches. The experiment will involve growing crystals, according to a local report. Now, the team was given $1,500 to spend on ordering specialized equipment needed to conduct the experiments. So that's story number 2 made it this week. Story number 3. How fentanyl caused a local toddler's death. A coroner has ruled the death of a toddler in September 22 to be ruled an accidental overdose. The article goes on to explain how fluid was found in the 20-month-old boy's lungs, along with fentanyl, adding to more local drug problems in Youngstown. So this is becoming a very, very bad problem where drugs continue to make headlines, especially when it's involving babies, youth, baby hell. Story number 4. $9.6 million service center in North Jackson. $9.6 million service center. American Transmission Systems, Inc. is building a $9.6 million operations service center. The facility will benefit customers by providing quicker access to resources. The project will also include a new 15,000 square foot storage facility. American Transmission Service is a subsidiary of the First Energy Corporation. That's why story number 4 made him this week. Story number 5. Moving forward at 20 Federal Street. So far, the city only has 2 proposals for 20 Federal Place. Both are below the estimated cost. The 2 new proposals will be reviewed. Now, the state has extended the deadline to June 30th, 2024. 20 Federal Street has been in quite a few headlines after the first contract bid shot the city into the news for how it had been handling the deal. Now, this story is still developing because right now they plan to move forward with the bids at affordable value. Big headline. Story number 6. Getting things back to normal for East Palestine. After a full train derailed that resulted in a fire releasing harmful gases, progress is being made in East Palestine. The air is breathable and stories about contaminated water keep surfacing, but experts are shying away from any talk about toxic exposure. Now, although it may seem like a challenge, things should ease back to normal soon. Now, the main goal now is how to prevent something like this from happening again. That's why story number 6 almost made it to the top 2 this week. Story number 7 in the top 2 local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Continuing to be a challenge, folks. Even in Black History Month, and being young, still only being about 40 years old, I'm still challenged to try to follow the path of keeping people informed and trying to stay on top of things. There are so many distractions out there, folks, but I commit myself every week to coming here, rain, sleet, or snow for you. Story number 7, checking in on the local academic progress. Well, it's almost that time of year again, graduation and final exams. Every year the academic progress goes on display locally. Now there is still a challenge, and grade goals for the local community some of them have yet to be met. The district has 15 schools, if you didn't know, and enrolls about 4,879 students with a minority enrollment of 87%. Now, if you didn't know, the district is also at the bottom 50% in test rankings. Now, out of 898 school districts in Ohio, Youngstown City School District is ranked within the bottom 50% overall. Now, the district, if you want to look at this on a bigger scale, overall, the district has seen an uptick in graduation rates, though, in the last 5 years. Now, this is all according to publicschoolreview.com. Well, publicschoolreview.com. The city has nothing left to do but improve, because they really have no choice but to try to improve. That's why story number 7 made it to the top 2 this week. Big hit. Story number 8 and the top local headline and developing news story that made this week, folks, for you. If I fall in love with anybody this Valentine's Day, it will be for my audience to keep you informed. If there's a little bitty audience, hopefully we'll grow. I believe, and I'm an optimist, if times are tough, I believe somebody's watching and staying informed and loving to see my smiling face, seeing the news every story at a time. Homemade, whipped up just for you. Story number 8. Assessing Tito's time as mayor of Youngstown so far. 1 year into Mayor Tito Brown's second term in office, not much has changed, but there seems to be a lot going on. Now, when assessing Brown's efforts to combat crime, improve neighborhoods and economic conditions of the city, what we see is a lot of effort, but not much change. Now, taking a long look at the bigger picture, it appears that COVID-19 relief money has rescued the city financially for the time being. And although everyone may know Tito, the main thing the city seems to be making headlines about is the constant changing being made to improve the downtown district, while the city neighborhoods yearn for improvements. So there's a lot going on in Youngstown. The city neighborhoods still are yearning for those improvements. The citizens are still yearning for better education, all types of things. But there's still something happening, and that's why Story number 8 made it to the top this week, because now may be a time to assess Tito before he gets out of here in 2025. Well, folks, those are our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories, so don't you go anywhere. You're in the media to me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
Tune in and don't forget to subscribe to Method 8 Inc. YouTube channel. You can also watch free public entertainment. And don't forget to show some support by visiting www.method8inc.com by buying something, clicking something, watching something, or just reading something. You can also sponsor a program as well. That's www.method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
What does Method8Inc.com Media Center have that I need?
Small prints, event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the visual and performing arts, ink and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer and cell phone repair, and they're located at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday. The list goes on and on.
Method8Inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
Oh yeah! And yes, we are chipmunks.
I'm gonna schedule you back in about a week, alright? Put you on 10 milligrams. If you need any refills, you gotta let me know, alright?
I didn't become a doctor to drug people.
Give up on your dream, John. You cannot cure crazy.
But he's one of my patients.
No, patience! Well, tell him to stop coming here and robbing me!
Are you married? I see your ring. Yeah.
But all I know is I need you and you will need me.
Why don't you have your wedding photos up?
Well, I have my reasons for that.
No! You don't know anything about my patients, Kathy. You don't know anything about what these kids, these parents are going through out here. There's a jungle out here, Kathy. So stay in your lane.
I don't have a chemical imbalance. I just want to go home.
Together, we can make magic.
Please don't leave me this way!
I'm gonna need therapy after this. Who gonna check and see if I'm okay?
Hey, Doc. Don't let me down. Because those meds, they're working.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Folks, it is Valentine's Day week. And if there's anybody who has learned anything about love and what to do, what to prevent, what to stay away, what not to do, is Brian, me, the mediator. Folks, I've been on this battlefield trying to save the world for a long time. And when it comes to women, I've had my fair share of sugar daddy moments, boy. Me, Brian West. Heartbreaking. Sometimes I've come to realize, sometimes in my downtime, I start to manifest thoughts of flashbacks of one girl. I like to call her Pizzazz. Ooh, this girl Pizzazz I had a thing for. I just got back off the military, back into civilian world, and boy, did I have a thing for this girl. Whew. I mean, every thought, every manifesting inkling in my veins wanted to be blessed by this girl. I went out of my way, spent all my hard-earned money, hoping to be blessed. So, come Valentine's Day, called her up, finally got her information, and she said she was cooking some chicken, and I thought this chicken was for me. Oh, I was ready. I was ready to be blessed. So we had a plan to meet up. Come to find out, she didn't have no gift. She took my gift, and the chicken was not for me. It was for somebody else. Ooh. Boy, did I sing a song of sadness. I sat there lonely in the cold with little old Brian, being Mr. West, and finding out that there would be no Mrs. West, no partnership, no cuddle, just me. Over years and years of this same development, coming Valentine's Day, I've come to accept the fact that love is for some, but not for all, folks. Glad I got that off my chest. Well, let's waste no time, folks. Let's get to it. Story number 1. Does the world have time for love? Speaking of love, the answer is yes, folks, but if it will make more time is another question. If it will make more time, if the world will make more time. In America, a lot of babies are made around this time of year, Valentine's Day, and people spend more time around this time of year trying to make their Valentine's Day fantasies become true. America has a lot of baggage in the love arena, folks. Cheating, child support issues, and even divorce baggage. Now, what got the story in is because of the number of women that were either raped, killed, or tangled up in some form of sex trafficking ring in 2022. These numbers continue to be mind-boggling and staggering, but we need women to reproduce, so don't give up just yet, brothers. That's why I ain't giving up. I still got what they call an imagination that satisfies my loneliness when I'm asleep and dreaming, but I've come to realize that I have to share my time. It don't have to be my special time with a woman, but I do tend to find some women friends to share my time with. That's why story number 1 crept in this week. It ain't over yet, baby. Just getting in the ballpark of love. Finding love the way I do, I can say for certain that it's true. There's a chance for me and you. Woo! Ooh-wee. Story number 2. What caused a train to derail in Ohio? With vinyl chloride everywhere and many residents in fear of the air surrounding their homes, what turned out as a local story ballooned into a national news spotlight. How did a train carrying hazardous material derail? That's the big question. This story has put the attention on the strained rail business and rail crews abroad all over the place, and could creep into the sleeping issues story pile if it continues up. Now, in 2021, of the 893 deaths, 26% occurred at rail crossings. That's what story number 2 made in this week. Awareness on the rail system. Big hit. Story number 3. Tragic earthquake rattles Turkey and Syria. Deaths in Turkey and Syria. Earthquake surpassed 16K. One report says that some areas will be unidentifiable for years. Now, this story is beyond belief. Little children screaming for help and more than 60,000 people being injured. If you look at some of this, I saw a picture of these 2 little girls, and I just couldn't believe it. But that's why story number 3 made it this week. I mean, there's been some sad stories making headlines, folks, and that's why this one made it in, because I feel if there's anything that the world can do, I think now is people are just brought to their knees. This is a real deal, folks. Big headline. Story number 4. Mixed feelings about global relations and a downed balloon prove it. As the world moves on, one thing is for sure, and that is that the problems are not magically going to go away. With global relations on everyone's mind, some now see a greater call for diplomatic efforts. Now, with many Ukrainians being displaced from their homes and Putin's war showing no signs, no end in sight yet, the world is yearning for some form of solutions. Now, China is also on defense after a weather balloon was spotted in sensitive airspace. Now, as more global news comes in, there are mixed feelings about global relations. As Rodney King would say, can't we all just get along? Well, that seems to be the topic on a lot of people's mind, because peace is what a lot of people want. That's why story number 4 crept in this week. Well, folks, those are our top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that I made this week. I'll be right back with the top 4. So don't you go anywhere. You're on the Mediator to meet Brian West. I'll be right back. If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com. Method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor the program. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week, folks. I always try to tell people to choose their significant other, when they're deciding on to choose wisely when it comes to love. This is Valentine's Day week, and shout out to all the people who have been in love for a long time. But little old Brian, I just did not seem to get back on the wagon. I fell off and didn't get back up. But I know that trying to be in love sometime in my life has been very unsuccessful. I remember one time I had a thing for this one girl, and I don't know why women do what they do, but I called her phone and she would have another guy answer, and it would just set me off. And I think they like that stuff, you know. I think that's. I mean, I call her. Hello, guys. Peter, Juju's. Yeah, I love Juju's. And I call her up and then, who is that? Who you gonna call her my Juju's? You call her my Juju's? No, it ain't like that. It ain't like that. Who is this? They like that stuff. All types of violence, pain. Broke my little heart calling for my Juju's. Coming to find out some big mask and I'm brother, who it is? To calling me, this my girl. Next thing you know, that's when the fire starts. And that's what we see, folks. And that's why I choose to tell people to choose wisely this Valentine's Day. Choose your significant other wisely. And when you do find them, there's not much out here left. So hold on to them, folks. Well, that's my advice. Even during Black History Month. Pick the love that you've been missing. Sometimes love takes a long time. Well, folks, let's waste no time. Let's get to these top four and let's get out of here. Let's get to it. Story number 5. Juju's, baby. Story number 5. Despite conflicts, U.S.-China trade is at record highs. Even with China and America trading blows, many may not have known this, but trading between the two countries hit a record high last year. Imports and exports between the two countries totaled $690.6 billion. This is all while the two countries have been in trading wars since 2018. So far, China has denied spying accusations after a weather balloon flew over the United States, causing more tensions between the two countries, but they still are in relationships, buddying up in trade. America and China, that's why story number 5 made it to the top 4 this week. Big headline. Story number 6, border towns, hospital running on low. Yuma Regional Medical Center, the only hospital within 60 miles of the border chaos, has been forced to delay residents' care while treating scores of illegal immigrants. This is according to a report, some reports. Now, the hospital, Fox News reports, the hospital is racking up millions in unpaid expenses. So far, the report goes on to cite border crossings in the 6 million range. So this is 6 million people, including 1.2 million getaways. The story is still developing. The border towns only hospital. This is what the headline reads, is that the border town's only hospital is on the brink of collapse while caring for migrants. That's why story number 6 almost made it to the top 2 this week. Story number 7 and the top 2 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Folks, I have to feel like I'm needed. I have to feel like this program is needed. I have to convince myself that I am saving a part of the world by keeping people informed, because if people know, they can react and they can make decisions, informed decisions. And that's why I'm in here, folks. Ooh, I'm getting revved up for some stories, baby. Story number 7. Ooh, yeah. $200 billion in profits last year for oil. Oh, big money. Ain't my money. BP, Chevron, ExxonMobil, Shell, and Total Energies ranked in a record $199.3 billion in profits in 2022. The CNN business report goes on to explain shareholder incentives and how oil demands have contributed to profit margins. This entire story puts the oil business in an elite sector of its own when it comes to policies and prices. The government has constantly had to engage and meet with top oil executives when profits are high, folks, and gas prices are high also, because people can't afford them. The main talking points now have everything to do with energy wars being waged against fossil fuels and how to spread out these profits. That's why story number 7 made the top 2 this week. Big story number 8 at the top. International headline had developed a new story that made it this week. I'm splitting the Red Sea with stories. The biblical knowledge, the power of God is still alive and well as long as mediation is flowing through the airways. Oh, blessed for God, glory. Please don't leave us. Give us a blessing and this sinful nation. Woo. Woo. Story number 8. Putting the pieces together is hard for the world right now, folks. So far, money and resources seem to be on the minds of a lot of people at the moment. How to apply this money to the right resources seems to be the biggest concerns. Connecting the right people to the right programs while making sure things are done ethically and right has also posed a challenge. Accountability when it comes to American spending is big, and the American taxpayer may be losing patience. But I'm here to tell you the only inkling of hope that we have is in the magic of some type of manifestation of a belief in the magnificent. The belief in God seems to keep some people pressing on, folks. But the mysteries of all the craziness that's been taking place is what has people down and out. So let's hope that we can get it together here and believe in the American dream. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Well, folks, that's it. I hope you got something out of today's program. Those are our top 8 local and international headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I hope you got something out of today's program. I always get something out of doing the research. As usual, I like to thank all the news outlets, the journalists, people on the front lines. You the people that keep us informed. I'm just a mediator, the man in the middle, navigating your stories to keep people informed. But everybody else, the people on the front lines, you deserve all the credit. If you want to show us some support here at Method 8, it does not take much. All you do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or the sponsored program. Well, folks, I am out of here. I'll be back next week. We'll do over 200 more stories just to keep you informed. Let's hope to find some good news and hope that the magic, of America, the Moomba Warriors, stay alive and well, and we can overcome the dangers of nature. Well, I'm out here, folks. I am out here, folks. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you for tuning to the Mediator. Me, Brian West. I'll slow down just to keep Valentine's Day love coming. Peace.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.